Okay, good day folks. Welcome. My name is Omer Ahern Jr. and I am making my periodic report as the Grafton County, New Hampshire County Commissioner for District 3, representing the towns in the southeastern part of Grafton County, up as far as Warren and Rumney and Campton and down over to Canaan and Bristol, Alexandria, Bridgewater, and of course Plymouth, Hebron, and Holderness, and all the towns in between, of course Dorchester and Groton and Wentworth. So I'm trying to make this periodic report to the people that I represent as County Commissioner. I am one of 3 County Commissioners. The other 2 commissioners are from District 1, which represents the towns of Hanover and Enfield and the City of Lebanon, is Commissioner Wendy Piper from Enfield. And for the remainder of the county, the northern and western part of Grafton County is that's Commissioner District 2, and that district is represented by Linda Lauer of Bath, and she is the chairperson of the Grafton County Commissioners. Wendy Piper is the clerk, and I serve as the assistant chairperson. The county commissioners meet normally every Tuesday of every week in the morning. Our meetings start at 9 o'clock. We meet up at the Grafton County Complex in North Haverhill, New Hampshire, and those meetings are open to the public. Unfortunately, very, very few people ever take advantage of this opportunity to come and hear the discussions of the county commissioners. The county commissioners in New Hampshire, and there are 10 counties in New Hampshire, each county is represented by 3 commissioners. And by state law, the counties are responsible for running, operating, and maintaining a correctional facility. And in Grafton County, we have a 150-bed correctional facility up there in North Haverhill on the Dartmouth College Highway. It's a 150-bed facility, and as of the last report, which was last week, earlier this week, November 27th, for that 150-bed facility, we have 60 residents in the correctional facility. The other major operation that we oversee and manage and make sure is operating properly is the nursing home. We have a 135-bed nursing home that takes care of Medicaid and Medicare residents, and we also have private pay residents, and we have a couple of beds that are identified as being available for veterans. So if a veteran would like to become a resident, long-term care resident of our nursing home, we would have a bed available for that veteran. We have veterans up there as well as members of the community, but they would be there. They could be there under other different classifications, such as Medicaid, Medicare, or private pay. The third facet that's now unfortunately unique, well, fortunately, but unfortunately for the rest of the counties in New Hampshire, is Grafton County still has a very active working farming operation. We have a dairy cow operation. We're milking somewhere around 78 Holsteins, and I'm proud to say that our Holstein operation, our dairy herd, has recently won 3 national awards for the quality of the milk that we produce up there in Grafton County. And that's primarily due to our outstanding herdsman up there, Ben White. And Ben also works with Brian Tillotson, who is what we call the farm worker, but Brian does a whole bunch of other things too. He also milks cows when Ben is taking his day off, and Brian, plants the crops, harvests the crops, makes sure all the farm equipment is properly maintained, oil changed, greased, and so on and so forth. And Ben and Brian, up until today, have been working under the farm manager, Donnie Kimball. as of today, November 30th, Donnie Kimball is retiring after, I believe, 38 years of service to the people of Grafton County, working on the farm, and many of those years it was as the farm manager. So Donnie is retiring today. We wish Donnie all the best in his retirement years. We understand he's going to be doing a lot of traveling. So it's been a pleasure working with you, Donnie, over the years that I've been a county commissioner. And again, my best wishes to you and your family. We have, the county commissioners have hired a new farm manager to take Donnie's place. And the new farm manager is Lisa Napton. Lisa Napton of Piermont, New Hampshire. She just recently sold off her dairy herd over there in Piermont and has been looking for an opportunity. And Lisa has some tremendous skills in terms of managing financial records, which is what we need now with all of the things that are going on in terms of keeping good financial records. Lisa has that experience. She's got experience, again, personally milking a large dairy herd, working with farm employees, and she's got some experience working with cooperative extension in the vegetable field. So Lisa has really quite a resume that she brings to her service as the new farm manager at the Grafton County Complex. So we're looking forward to working with Lisa into the future. So those are the three big operations that we have up at Grafton County: the nursing home, the Department of Corrections, and the farm operation. We have a 25-acre complex up there, which includes the county courthouse, which also houses the county attorney's office and state probation and parole offices, as well as the circuit court offices. We have the county administration building where the commissioners' offices are, which now are also housing some of the county attorneys' staff, because their office has just gotten so large over the last 10 and 12 years. The Register of Deeds is in the county administration building up there at that county complex. Register of Deeds is Kelly Monahan, an elected position. The University of New Hampshire Cooperative Extension offices, headed up by Heather Bryant, a fruit and vegetable specialist, is also housed at the county complex there in North Haverhill. If you own woodlands here in Grafton County and you'd like to talk with a forestry expert, the county forester is also staffing an office up there in Grafton County, and we would certainly ask you to give him a call if you have any questions about your woodlot or your woodlands and what you could do with them. He can't actually actively manage your property, but he would be glad to go up and take a look at what you've got and maybe make some initial recommendations. But getting a forester to help you is also very important, especially if you're getting ready to do a timber cut. So that's another very good service that is being offered through the Grafton County complex up there. And then the other person that is doing there are actually many people there from UNH Cooperative Extension, but Mike Lunak is the New Hampshire dairy specialist. His offices are there in Grafton County. We also have a food safety specialist who works out of that office as well. And Mary Choate, Choate, is the food safety specialist. And we also have an economic specialist who serves out of that office, as well as Donna Lee, who is the 4-H organizer for Grafton County, is in that office as well. So all of these folks, you can find out all their information at the Grafton County, New Hampshire website. As I was saying, the county commissioners last met on November 27th, which was Tuesday of this week. And we meet at 9 o'clock in the morning. And the first department head on the agenda was Brent Ruggles, who is the Information Technology Manager. And he always gives us a lengthy report. What Brent and his staff does, Barry and Joey, they're the glue that holds that entire complex together up there. And again, we get a pretty detailed report from Brent every 4 weeks when we meet with him. And he's in the county attorney's office providing, or he or his staff people are in there providing any types of information technology needs, keep their computer systems going, their software. He also does a lot with, of course, the nursing home, the Department of Corrections, the Commissioner's office, and all of the other services that are up there at the county. Human Resources, Human Services, the farm, alternative sentencing, maintenance department, and just it goes on and on and on. And he does a lot of support work at the Register of Deeds, and yes, very importantly at the Sheriff's Office and the Dispatch Center up there in Grafton County. And one of the things that Mr. Ruggles came to the Commissioners to get their approval on is he has some Dell Optiplex 3090s and a couple of Dell Optiplex 3010s. Those mean nothing to me other than I'm sure there's some type of computer that are being phased out. They're being replaced by newer equipment, and he got the Commissioner's permission and okay to sell these Dell Optiplex computers to be sold as is. And you can contact Mr. Ruggles at the Information Technology Department up there. His number up there is 787-2043. 787-2043. And he'll talk with you about the computers that he has for sale there. The next department head that came and made his report was Superintendent of the Department of Corrections, Tom Elliott. Tom is a Marine, and we're very fortunate to have Tom as Superintendent of our Department of Corrections up there. Tom reported, as he does, he reports every month to us on schedule, and sometimes he'll have reports that he'll want to make to us in between, but this was his regular monthly report. There are 5 units, 5 pods at the correctional facility, and right now in-house we have 60 residents of the Department of Corrections. And 12 of those residents are females, with 3 of those female residents are from Coos County. Coos County does not have a facility at this point in time appropriate for female inmates, so we are housing their inmates, and I believe we're getting $50 a day from Coos County to help take care of their residents down in Grafton County. We have 3 people out on electronic monitoring. We have 1 person out on daily work release. The FIRM program, FIRRM, which is a substance abuse program to help some of our residents of the Department of Corrections turn their lives around a little bit. And this is, intense consultations and intense working with these therapists. So we have 4 people in the FIRM program, and that is something we're trying to do to keep people out of jail, to reduce the recidivism. We have a program called Operation Impact, where one of our corrections officers, Sergeant Harness, makes presentations to the various schools throughout Grafton County, high schools and elementary schools, with the idea that by talking with these young people about all of the pitfalls as they grow older, it will help to keep them from becoming a burden on the taxpayers of Grafton County through the Department of Corrections. Sergeant Griffin in the community work program works with some folks from the county correctional facility who are trustworthy enough to go on to the outside, and they will do different projects for towns and nonprofits. I know they've done some painting for some of the local granges here in Rumney and Plymouth, but they also will help the different towns clean up the cemeteries in the springtime after the winter. And he does also a lot of work with the vegetable gardens, vegetable fields at the county facility. Couple of things that he brought out, Superintendent Elliott brought to our attention, was the Department of Health and Human Services did a surprise inspection of the kitchen in the correctional facility on November 9th, and we passed that inspection with flying colors. Superintendent Elliott also presented us with the 2018 Grafton County Farm Stand Sales for this past summer, and that report is here. And this report, of course, will be shared with Lisa Napton, the new farm manager, because the farm manager and the Department of Corrections have to work closely together, because the farm relies on a certain number of residents of the Department of Correction to work on the farm, either working in the dairy barns, shoveling out the stalls and the gutters, or working in the vegetable gardens. So basically, we had gross sales this past summer of about $46,486.25, and that's basically through the months of July, August, September, and October. And he gave us some comparisons of over the years and the different vegetables that we sell from the farm stand. He also talked about an inmate that had to go to the local hospital with a leg infection issue, and that involved one of our correctional officers, being at the hospital, on shifts while that inmate was there. And anyway, we are also looking at some medicated assisted treatment opportunities at our correctional facility. There's some concerns about bringing in more chemicals or pharmaceuticals into our facility, but the Dartmouth-Hitchcock Medical Center has indicated that they have a grant available to the county if this is something that would be interested in. And again, this is something that will be looked at by the commissioners in the coming months. We also received a monthly program update from Sergeant Deem with regard to the individual counseling, vocational and education counseling, volunteer programs, and the firm program, specifically the number of inmates that are involved and how much time is being spent. So again, our department heads are very good about keeping the commissioners up to date on what's going on. And we appreciate that good work that Superintendent Elliott and his corrections officers provide up there. The next person on the agenda on Tuesday was Nancy Bishop, who is the Human Services Administrator. I've talked about Nancy before over the last year and a half, and Nancy is a one-person department, and Nancy does a tremendous job in saving the taxpayers of Grafton County a lot of money. Nancy, though, was here on Tuesday to talk about the applications for funding for the different social service agencies that have been coming to Grafton County over the last 25 or so, 30 years, looking for money from the taxpayers to help them fund their various social service activities in Grafton County. Some of these social service agencies are multi-county or multi-county agencies. Sometimes they're involved with Belknap County or Sullivan County or Coas County or Carroll counties, our neighboring counties. And so there's been some concerns offered by some of my constituents over the years as to the appropriateness of taxpayer money going to some of these social service agencies for purposes that are not necessarily something that the counties are statutorily required to provide. So I have some concerns about funding these social service agencies. A lot of them do a lot of good work, but I also know that there's several charitable organizations available in the state of New Hampshire, the New Hampshire Charitable Foundation in Concord, and several regional charitable organizations that can help a lot of these organizations. I know our own Bridge House here in Plymouth and the Pema Youth Center here in Plymouth and the Whole Village Center are also recipients of Grafton County taxpayer dollars through these social service agencies. But the commissioners have basically directed Nancy Bishop, the Human Services Director, to, in the ad going into the newspaper, announcing that these funding opportunities are still available for the next fiscal year, that these applications basically be focused on two areas. Number one, providing programs that would prevent or reduce the amount of inmates coming into the House of Correction. What can we do to keep people out of the House of Correction? And the second focus would be, what can we do to keep people in their homes, the safety and the comfort of their homes, rather than sending them into the county nursing home? So what can these social service agencies do to provide the services to keep people out of the jail and the House of Correction, and to allow people to stay in their homes longer rather than go to the nursing home? So that's what we're asking these social service agencies to focus on if they're going to be asking for money from the county taxpayers. So that's part of what this package is from Nancy Bishop. One of the other things that the commissioners do at each one of their meetings is we take a look at every check that goes out to pay for different invoices, for food, for medical services, for payroll. Every one of those checks are signed off on by the county commissioners. Commissioner Piper, as the clerk, she actually looks at all of the invoices. I have many times taken a look at the different invoices that come across the commissioner's desk, and some of those invoices have caused me to have some concerns about where some of our county money is being spent, and I bring those things up during the budget process. And also when money is being asked to be spent by the commissioners, I will be very scrutinizing, and have been scrutinizing, and sometimes have not agreed to spend money for some of these purposes based upon my review of some of the invoices. Sometimes it gets me in trouble with the other two commissioners, but I feel it's my duty as a steward of the taxpayers' dollars to scrutinize all of these things. Couple of things that are on the table right now is, thanks to the good efforts of District 2 State Senator Bob Guida, legislation was passed in 2018 that was signed into law around the 1st of August that will allow Grafton County to purchase its electricity on the open market. However, there's some entanglements that have not allowed Grafton County to pursue this very unique opportunity to save the taxpayers money. And these entanglements are slowing this process down. The county commissioners have talked with a person who specializes in helping municipalities develop their own electrical distribution programs. Susan Olson from Warner, New Hampshire. She recently helped the town of Hanover have the town of Hanover go out onto the open market and purchase its electricity there as a distributor. However, we are having some challenges with our present electricity provider, and so I have tried to push things along because this is taking way too long. This is an opportunity for the Grafton County taxpayers that really should not be delayed. And we need information from our present supplier, and I feel that that information is not coming to us in as timely a manner. So the commissioners have voted to file a right to know request with our present provider, and that has not actually been provided to them. I was hoping it was going to be provided a month ago, but or earlier, but we're working on it. So that's where we kind of are at this point. In addition to the regular duties as a county commissioner, the commissioners also got involved in other issues that affect the county. And so yesterday, Thursday the 29th of November, I attended a meeting down at the state offices on Haven Drive in Concord. It was at the Fish and Game Department conference room, but it was a meeting put on by the New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services, and it was a scoping meeting for the Baker River Dam number 8, which is located in the towns of Dorchester and Groton, New Hampshire. Now, this is a dam that was built in 1968 as part of an overall Grafton County area flood control system that basically had been in the works through the 1960s and into the 70s. But this dam, number 8, was one of 17, as I understand it, proposed dams that were supposed to be constructed or were looking at being constructed with the idea of alleviating any major flood conditions for people downriver. And Plymouth certainly is one of those towns. This meeting yesterday was to bring some of the stakeholders together. And I was down there with Gary Peters from the Grafton County Grafton County Conservation Commission, Pam Gilbert, who is also the director of the Grafton County Natural Resources District, because this dam impounds water. Water is necessary for agriculture. Water provides sustenance for fish and wildlife, and it also has a multi-use, this dam, this backed up water. People can go fishing there, they can go boating there, kayaking mostly. It is an interior dam. You can't see it from the highway. So, but there's been some determinations made that this dam number 8 has some potential hazards due to its age. So we needed to, we sat down and talked about some of the issues that need to be looked at under federal and state law, because this is going to be a partially funded. If it's going to be repaired or removed, it'll be federal funds that are involved. So there's soil, water, air, plants, animals, and human issues that have to be looked at. Under the humans, it's cultural, historic, public health and safety. And so this is going to be an ongoing process. Evidently, a consulting firm has been hired, and but Gary Peters and Pam Gilbert and the county commissioners are going to be following up on this. If you folks have any concerns about the flood control system here in Grafton County, you need to get involved in this. So if you have any questions about this, you can certainly contact me at my office in Wentworth, 764-6024. It looks like I'm out of time, but again, I want to thank the folks here at the Pemmy Baker Television for giving me this opportunity to talk with you folks on a regular basis about what's going on in our Grafton County government. County government has been a part of my life, my entire life. And county government is very, very important. Many times it is the last place for people who are in need where they can go and get some help. Yes, you have your town welfare offices, but sometimes in terms of a place to go, the county is sometimes that last place for people to go to. So I want to thank the folks here at PBTV for allowing me to talk with you. Again, I encourage you to contact me if you have any questions about Grafton County government. My email is omer.ahern.jr@gmail.com. Again, my phone number is in Wentworth, New Hampshire, 764-6024. We're in the middle of the Thanksgiving and Christmas season, and I pray that all of your families and you will have a very safe Christmas season and that you had a blessed Thanksgiving. And again, it's a pleasure to serve you folks as your Grafton County Commissioner. It's an honor and it's a privilege. And in closing, I just want to say, God bless the United States of America, and God bless the Granite State of New Hampshire. Thank you.